Hello and welcome. Today, we're getting into something that is absolutely fundamental to being a professional barber: contraindications and infection control. And look, this is way more than just ticking boxes or following rules. This is about protecting your clients, protecting your reputation, and protecting yourself. All right, let's get right into it. So, here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off with what's called the barber's duty of care. It's your core responsibility. Then we'll get crystal clear on what contraindications actually are. We'll look at the big red flags, the infectious conditions, and then the ones where you can adapt and proceed. And finally, we'll wrap up with your game plan, what to do, who to refer to, and how to prevent problems in the first place. First things first, before we can talk about skin conditions or anything else, we have to talk about the foundation of everything we do, and that is your professional duty of care. Now, this statement right here, it's simple, but it is powerful. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a legal obligation. It means you have to take active steps to make sure no one gets hurt in your chair, and that includes you. Every time you clean your clippers or check a client's scalp, you are upholding this duty and preventing stuff like cross-infection. So how do you uphold that duty of care in a practical way? Well, it comes down to a crucial skill: being able to spot contraindications. Let's break down what this word actually means and why it's a critical part of every single client consultation, no exceptions. The easiest way to think about a contraindication is as a stop sign. It's a condition the client already has that tells you, hold on, for safety reasons, we either can't do this service at all, or we need to change how we do it. It is your first and best line of defense. Okay, and this is where people sometimes get a little mixed up, so let's clear it up. A contraindication is something you spot before the service even begins. It's a pre-existing red flag. A contraaction, on the other hand, is something that happens during or after the service, like an unexpected allergic reaction to a product. That's a signal to stop what you're doing right away. So one is before, one is during. All right, now we're moving into the most serious category of contraindications. We're talking about the red flags. These are the conditions that can actually be passed from person to person in the barbershop. And here is a perfect example of a major red flag. This is tinea capitis, which most people know as ringworm. It's a fungal infection and it is extremely contagious. If you see this, the service stops, period. Your professional and legal duty is to politely explain the situation and refer that client to a doctor. So what about something like this, a cold sore? This is the herpes simplex virus. Now, it is infectious, but this is where your professional judgment comes in. If it's a small, contained area far away from where you're working, you might be able to proceed with extreme caution. That means gloves, avoiding the area completely, and top-notch hygiene. But if you're in any doubt, you don't proceed. And, of course, we have to talk about infestations. Things like head lice or scabies are an absolute 100% stop sign. If you find any evidence of an infestation, you have to stop the service immediately and postpone any future appointments until it's been properly treated. This is non-negotiable for the safety of your entire clientele. This little table here really sums it all up. Whether the cause is bacterial, like folliculitis, fungal, like ringworm, or an infestation like head lice, your action is always the same. You postpone the service and you refer them to a professional. Notice your job is to recognize and refer, not to diagnose or treat. But hey, it's not all about stopping services. A lot of the skin and scalp conditions you'll see every day are not contagious. And in these cases, your job changes. You're no longer a gatekeeper, you're a skilled professional who knows how to adapt the service to meet the client's needs safely. And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got an infectious condition, ringworm. That's a hard stop. But on the right, you see psoriasis. It might look red and flaky, but it is not infectious. You cannot catch it. So here, you don't stop, you proceed with care. So for a lot of common issues like psoriasis, eczema, or even just dandruff and a dry scalp, you can absolutely go ahead with the service. This is where your expertise really shines. You just need to make some adjustments. Be gentle, maybe use products for sensitive skin, avoid super hot water, and just keep talking to your client to make sure they're comfortable. Okay, you've spotted a red flag. What's the game plan? This last section is all about what you do next. We're going to cover the exact steps for your professional response and, most importantly, how to prevent these issues from happening in the first place. When you see a red flag, this is your 4-step playbook. 1. Stop the service, but do it politely and discreetly. 2. Explain that for their health and safety, you can't continue. 3.
recommend they see a doctor or a pharmacist for advice. And 4, as soon as they've left, you need to do a full-on clean and disinfection of your station, your tools, everything.
And this is the golden rule, probably the most important thing to remember from this entire explainer. You are a barber. You are not a doctor. Never ever say, oh, you have ringworm. Instead, you say, this looks like something you should get checked out by your doctor. It protects you, and it makes sure the client gets proper medical advice. And this referral guide? It's your new best friend. It takes the guesswork out of it. If you suspect a bacterial or fungal infection, send them to the GP. If it's something like head lice, a pharmacist can help. And for more severe or persistent non-infectious issues, they might need to see a specialist, like a dermatologist. At the end of the day, knowing how to react is crucial, but it's not the goal. The real goal is to run a barbershop where the risk of anything spreading is as close to zero as possible, because the best solution is and always will be prevention. And prevention starts right here with your tools. Every single tool, every comb, every clipper guard, every pair of scissors has to be thoroughly cleaned and then disinfected between every single client. And that means using a proper hospital-grade disinfectant and following the instructions exactly, especially the contact time. Next up, PPE, personal protective equipment. Things like single-use gloves are so important, especially when you're doing shaves. They create a physical barrier that protects both of you from any potential bloodborne viruses that could be transmitted through even the tiniest nick or cut. And finally, take a look at your workspace. A clean, tidy, organized station isn't just about looking professional. It's a critical part of infection control. Clean surfaces, fresh capes, and properly disposing of waste all work together to keep everyone safe. So as we finish up, I want to leave you with this question to think about. How are you going to take what you've learned today and build it into every single appointment? How will you make checking for these things a seamless, natural part of upholding your duty of care and providing a safe, professional service? This educational resource is provided by Grassroots Barbering Ltd. Visit www.grassrootsbarbering.co.uk for more barbering education resources.